Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we will be doing a bit of an update video. The physics have been changed in the recent patch. Once again, Milestone have not done anything to really explain it. They put it under major MotoGP physics change, which could literally mean anything. So I spent the evening yesterday playing online with a friend of mine, and I feel like I figured out pretty much everything they've changed. The main ones they've changed anyway, and I'm going to do basically just show them off and tell you exactly what's changed and why certain things feel different. So I'm going to go as Johan Mir at Spielberg just for a few laps and just talk about the physics. So let's get on track. So the four aspects they have seemed to have adjusted in the recent patch are braking, vibration, the change of direction, so the gyroscopic force, and anti-wheelie. Now there is a fifth one where people are having it sounds like glitches. It's not meant to be in the game. There's a few glitches actually that I'll cover later in the video, but people are complaining that the brake temperature in longer races are flying through the roof after one lap as if they're bugged out. So that sounds like they've somehow glitched it. But we're going to start with number one, which is the braking felt slightly different to me when I first came on it, and also leads into the second point of vibration. About a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe 2 months ago, we'll say, I think it was, they put out a patch where they changed the physics again. Didn't tell us, they just changed physics. They kind of made it very mysterious for some reason. But in that update, they made vibration a lot stronger. So you had vibration on your controller from every aspect. So if you touch the curb, vibration, you braked, vibration, you accelerated, vibration, you get the gist. So what I did is I went to the settings like this, went to controls, configuration, went over to controller and turned that to low. And what that did was basically it was close to what it was before the patch. So you had vibration when the rear end wanted to let go, you had vibration when the front was kind of pushing, and curbs and a few other bits and pieces, but you weren't getting constant vibration all the time, because if you have too much information, you can't really pick through the information at a high rate. When you're going into a corner, if you have just so much vibration, you don't know what's going on. You don't know, is it the rear, is it the front, is it both, am I on a curb? Couldn't tell you. So what I did, I put it to low. But when I came back to this game after the most recent update, I felt like I had no front end feel, and I crashed a few times. I did go to record an episode of my first person career mode at Assen, and I was just basically rolling off the edge of the tyre, tucking the front, because I had zero front end feel. It took me a few minutes to kind of twig that I had no vibration going into the corner, because after a while I was like, does my controller need batteries? Check them. So basically I ruled them all out until I was like, it must be the vibration. Put the vibration back up, and that's back to normal. So then the braking felt better. I had feeling, but the brakes still, they feel like they're a little less, what would we say, kind of responsive and strong. They feel a bit weaker. I'm finding it hard to get it stopped in my kind of more normal braking zones. Even with playing with the brakes and like on normal setups, it feels like the brakes just when the game came out, I think, again, they've changed physics so many times that I'm kind of referring to like the game came out and previous physics from previous patches and stuff. But when the game came out, it felt like when you braked hard, the bike would run on, the brakes wasn't stopping. Then they slightly made it better. Everyone got used to that, and that's what we kind of expected from the brakes. And now it looks like they've gone back to closer to what it was at a release, from my feeling. So anyway, that is the braking covered, and the vibration, which is maybe a lot of people, some people now, I'd say that very few people may have changed it, but a lot of people will have noticed when they came back that the vibration didn't feel different, because I'm back on normal vibration now, and it felt like low before the most recent patch. So there's no way people won't realize it's changed. Anyway, number 3, like I said, was anti-wheelie. Now I did races, I was doing an online race last night, and I was getting heaps of wheelies with anti-wheelie on 3, and I've run anti-wheelie on 3 since the game has released. I've not once changed. I've never felt the issue with 3. Go to 2, you have issues in first gear corners, everywhere else is fine, but 3 now seems to be slightly not enough. So I've started to run it on 4 in certain aspects because it's needed. Now the issue with anti-wheelie is it cuts power to stop the front wheel come up, so you want to run as low as possible. So maybe I can fix it in my riding style, but they have adjusted that. So if anyone is struggling with wheelies, you need to kind of up it maybe 1 from what you were using before the patch. because it's a bit more sensitive, and it seems like in change of directions, and like Portimao for example, when you go down into Craig Jones Corner, as you go over that rise, you could just wheelie for days. It just doesn't want to come down. Pretty much every Portimao wants to wheelie, and it is quite hard to get it back under control. If it wheelies, you have to stop accelerating, rear brake, a bit of everything. But anyway, that is point 3. Now the controller there's actually another one I forgot to mention that they brought in, which kind of leads into my 4th point, which is the bike feels different in change direction. So the gyroscopic force is your forces when you're going from left to right, like I'm doing there. Now the bike is quicker in change of direction, and they have brought in a new feature. Again, didn't tell anyone, no patch notes about this gyroscope. Sorry. Now it shows on screen on either a PS4 or PS5. I've played Xbox since PS2 days, so I haven't had a PlayStation since back in the mid 2000s. So I don't know what controller that is. I think it's a PS4 controller. But anyway, it's a PlayStation controller, I know that for a fact. I'm currently using an Xbox Series X controller on PC. I prefer this controller over every other controller. But it looks like if you turn it on, you can steer left by tilting the controller left. So when you were a kid and you were at home playing Gran Turismo and you were trying to turn, and you start to turn your arms to get that extra bit of lean angle or steering lock, and your dad goes, the controller doesn't know you're turning it, and you go in your head like, maybe just notices. Now apparently you can do that, so you can know, so you can lean back, lean forward, left and right. Now I have not tried to see is it going to work on an Xbox controller, because the picture is a PlayStation, and when I'm using an Xbox controller, and as you can see in the corner, it has B, X and Y, so it does know I'm using an Xbox controller. I don't see why it would show me an Xbox controller if there was an option to use it. So I'm not going to try and even use it now in this video. I might do a separate video to see if it works. I'll try it out in a different video. But going back to another previous patch, would you believe, they brought in this. And I put out a video saying they had broken the game because they had made a dead zone in the initial steering left and right. So you could push the stick slightly left and nothing would happen, and then it would happen later. So what I ended up doing was changing the linearity so that it would respond faster at lower inputs, basically to try and cut over this dead zone. Now it didn't really make a difference. It made it slightly, it fixed it, but kind of made it awkward. So it wasn't, obviously over time I got used to it and it was grand. Since then I've reset everything. You can see I've reset everything. That's what everything came out. It was linearity I set to 0 to make it different. Since the new update came out with the improved speed of the gyroscope, so you can faster change the direction, this is too quick. I had to put it back to 50% from the 0 I had. And now this isn't a great track to show off. Mugello is a great track, you feel it around there in the change directions, but the bike is visibly quicker change direction. You can see through that sector there. I'm actually going to rewind it again and just show you. You nearly, on the initial release and previous update, you had to wait for the bike to change direction. You couldn't aggressively change direction by using the throttle to kind of get the bike over, whereas now it kind of flicks over quite nice. You can see just like that, straight over, and I have no fear that I want to push wide out onto the gravel or anything there. It easily turns over. So there they are, the main points. Now they have broken some textures as usual. The Jack Miller livery for some reason has bits of Enea Bastianini's Ducati showing underneath. I was talking to a friend of mine who's big into textures and modding, and he said that they were playing around with things, and he explained it to me. I didn't understand. All I know is that they were trying to do something, they made a mistake, and they didn't fix it and put it out. So we have a broken Jack Miller livery at the moment. Now that will be patched at some point. Everything in the game will be patched. It's just a matter of when. Now we have now gotten the online bike retrieval as well. Now I don't think this could have been the most recent one, maybe even the patch before, but it does work. Again, I tried last night for the first time and it works perfectly fine. Now the AI still haven't got it, which is a bit of a bummer, because if you're a big Cremont player, you'll know if you crash and you have to run over, pick up your bike, you lose 20 seconds. And in the AI crash, they respawn on the outside of the track, they respawn out on the white line, just like here, and they just take off, and you're still in the gravel waiting to be picked up, and they're in the next sector before you've even gotten the bike. So you know, unless you're running a full 25 or full 100% race, 25 laps or whatever, you're not going to make that time back up in 7 laps. So it is quite annoying. Still, it's not in career mode. It's something they said they will bring in, no time on when it may come, but unfortunately we're just going to have to wait. So again, just to recap the changes they've done in this one. Braking is slightly less powerful Toppled with, if you're running vibration low, you'll have no feeling, have to go back to medium or normal. The calibration now that they brought in has made the gyroscope feel weird unless you've put it back to normal. For me personally, I'd like to see what some other people think about it. Vibration is completely nerfed again for some reason, so they've spent ages changing vibration to make it more responsive and more to increase the strength, so you have more feeling, which didn't really work. So they've gone back to what it was beforehand. I don't know why. Everyone had gotten used to it. People enjoyed running on normal. People like me ran on low and it was fine. I don't see why they had to change it back. Like, you have done nothing to, it has fixed nothing. It wasn't broken. Now, it probably didn't work the way they wanted it, but usually milestone updates don't work the way they want them. So that's pretty much it for today's video. It's a small video just kind of covering the little things they've rebroken and tried to fix. So I'd like to hear others' comments. So if you don't mind, leave me a comment down below if you've played a few hours since the new update and have experience with the game before the recent update, to see what others are feeling. Am I the only one experienced these weird kind of break fade moments and less strength of braking? Was the vibration different for you? Do you feel like the bike changes direction very fast, or is it equally as slow? So yeah, right then, I'm going to leave that there for today's video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike. Subscribe for more videos like this, and if you have any questions, please comment down below. For any question about the recent update, about the game in general, please, I'm happy to help in responding in the comments. But yeah, that has been today. They've changed a good few bits. Some they've kind of just gone back on previous decisions, which is weird, and they have told nothing, because the patch notes aren't in any detail. They are very vague as always. It's like they're trying to cover up their mistakes, but yeah, what can you do? I am going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching, and I shall see you in a video in the not so distant future. Take care. Bye bye.